once I initially got into like my initial feelings of the whole Rocky Horror franchise, I knew in my mind like this is something that I can go into or talk about for at least another 10 minutes. So like I said before, when I went to Blockbuster and saw the cover of this movie, it just the only thing I can compare it to is it's funny how I've been talking about off-Broadway productions or comparing it to on Broadway. But I remember my family, we had some Mexican food, and then we went to see the Fantastics. But and it was actually, I mean, it was one of the earlier Broadway plays that are off-Broadway plays that I went to, and it was the first one I remember, or at least in that setting. And I was actually pretty impressed with. I think the tickets were like $35, and it was worth every penny and then some. Um, the Fantastics is it's a old Broadway show. With that being said, it's one of those things that is bound to pop up like every couple of years. As much as I would say Les Mis or Miss Saigon, it's just not that like the production is like on that level, but just um, it being a staple in like Broadway, whether it's on or off. So, but yeah, the point I was trying to make with that is, I remember my mom telling me and my brother that the show was in Greenwich Village, which is that NYU area, and my brother started to go off on like actually what goes down in Greenwich Village, and I could say this from from a hindsight point of view, but if you were to like go out to like the gay pride parade, or the people who congregate around that area afterwards, or I know there's like Stonewall and 7th Avenue South and Christopher Street where that one train station is. I mean, that was the picture that he was painting. And I remember seeing at least like two things. I remember when I was with my cousin. We went to there was a period where we hung out at least twice in front of Gray's Papaya, and people who would walk by. I remember, even if I don't know what you call those things that they have like free newspapers inside of them, much like Metro, AM New York. There's one newspaper that has the employment guide that if you call the ads to like, I won't get into specific ads, but basically, I mean, it's filled, half of it is filled with like getting you into school, much like late night television shows. I can digress upon that, but one of these things that hold like free newspapers it was called like Gay City, and just seeing that alone was like, okay, it already set the tone of like the atmosphere. So going back to Rocky Horror, at that time it wasn't really until I mean, I can name a couple of different things, but it wasn't until my experience in college. I went to two different schools, but the second school that I went to, I transferred my sophomore year. That was more in the forefront, and as even though I can mention like the name of the school, and I'll just say it was an art school, and it was I would say I always used to tell people that half the school is gay, the other half does drugs, mostly smoke weed, and there was a handful that fit into both categories. So yeah, I can go into like specific things that I saw, like public displays of affection. There was one thing that I saw that it wasn't in public, like on the mall. Kind of gave a hint as far as exactly the name of my school, but it was actually at a party that I saw. I remember, I will say this, I was my best friend, he actually went up to, fuck it, I'll say it. My friend went to Stony Brook. I'll bring that up later. And he went with me to a party at my school. I went to SUNY Purchase, and there's this like Campus Center South, and there was this South Side. That was the name of the room, and the hell, it was a multi-purpose sort of, like, it was a place where if there was like an official sort of school dance, let's make that sound like it was going back to the 1950s, in a gym. But basically, we were at a party at Southside, and he noticed one dude starting to grind up on another dude on the school in the middle of the dance floor, and his reaction to that was, if this was Stony Brook, then like they would have gotten yanked up. And I've only been to Stony Brook maybe like twice that I can think of offhand, but I know the one reason why I didn't go to that school was the one time I took a tour of Stony Brook back when I was in high school, when I was trying to figure out, like, what the next phase was going to be, next chapter. I hate to almost like the feelings that kind of that ruminated, watching Boyhood, or at least toward, like, the second half of the movie, or when it became like, I guess the high school years, because that's a whole another video that I'll get into for another time. So yeah, I was talking about Rocky Horror and how it wasn't something I was exposed to, and I saw this play. It was the last year I was at Purchase, and it was I mean, I didn't pay anything for it, so it's one of those things where, I mean, sometimes you go to a comedy show, and then, like, whenever you go to a free comedy show, there's nine times out of 10 you're going to find, if not one, but a handful of comedians who aren't funny, or you don't find yourself laughing at their jokes. But yeah, watching the play of Rocky Horror made me want to, watch the movie. So I'm sure if I think hard enough, I can. Okay, yeah, I remember I was talking about productions and plays, and then I can, So yeah, this is the point of the video, that I'm just going to stop, and then, once I've I don't know, I'm gonna take a couple of seconds, and then when I'm ready to pick up, I'll start the next one.